All right, folks, how's it going? It's your boy Roar. We're here with Shiori Novella with our original song Monsters and Men. Let's just not waste any more time. Let's just jump into it. You know her, you love her, and even if she's not your cup of tea personality wise, she's a very unique person, a very talented individual. And I want to see where this is going because I don't think she's put out an original song up to this point. Yeah, let's jump into it. I'm excited. Okay.
He's made of sin, nothing in the abyss. He calls us soul. There's rage, he ought to feel any little thing. He's desperate, sure, but even more, he won't live another day. Wrong victim and cry, God spare real please. As life left his eyes, she contemplates how her heart it aches. The memory of him keeps her warm and safe, and her bed there lies a pile of bones and echoes of a love that's dead and gone. All been done before, my shame it's real.
Huh. First of all, I love the visuals, and we have so many lore-related things, the scissors, the eye, all that sort of stuff. That's what I love. I keep telling everybody, that's what you gotta do. If you're a VTuber, give me lore. I don't care if some people are like, I don't really care about that. You're playing a character, and you have all this stuff that you establish as part of your lore. Put that in your music. Why not? Anyway, very interesting. We're doing all this sort of gothic horror related to love that's long gone and tying it into stuff like, oh, there's a skeleton in the bed. Our love is literally dead and gone. It's gone. But very interesting stuff. Yeah. The style definitely evokes more of a need for her to sing, which for the most part I haven't really heard her belt it out very much. She's just kind of kept things very quiet. Some of the novelites have told me that she has done plenty of karaoke where she's sung a lot more. I think that's a very interesting stylistic choice then, that she chooses to just have a calmer, quieter voice with her vocals and stuff. Because I think, even though I haven't heard her sing very much and I don't have an idea of what her range is, she's very comfortable with a deeper tone, which is cool because there's a lot you can do with that, making things sound silky and dark and moody and that kind of thing. So nice harmony. Okay, we just doing some breakdowns, okay.
Tell me your story now.
Okay, one thing. I'm sorry. As a big metalhead, you gotta put a little more oomph right there. Tell me your story now. Like, that's very sweet, but we just had these chugging guitar chords. Punch it just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think there's a way, obviously, doing the dissonance of the intensity, right, is a stylistic choice for sure. We've seen plenty of metal go different routes like that, right? Or vice versa, with its artistic style and also the music itself. I'm not saying that that can't be done. I just think, especially when you're demanding something of someone, tell me your story now, tell me now, adding a little bit of an oomph would couple very well with the guitar that we have going on. But I also love that idea that we're talking about caring about stories, as is her want with her character. So
Tell me your story now.
yeah, and even then, tell me your story now. Didn't even really hold that out very long. You could have, the tone just kind of cut off. But okay, let's see what else we got going here. That one at least hung out a little bit, and then it blended into the instrumental pretty well. So
Set in stone, let it be known by those who paid attention. Restricted by your own hand, the end. Smell of iron and blood fills her lungs, stepping on them as they lay.
okay, as a rapper, there was a couple flow moments there that I felt like you could have had a bit more cohesion. I do want to say I like the what is it, the harpsichord. That's a lot. That's related to a lot of Gothic uh, forms. A lot of the like, what is it, sort of Renaissance, Victorian era type stuff, where a lot of Gothic imagery got its inspiration from. So I think that little piano stuff was very, very cool. But then this one moment here, I feel like she could have done those 2 lines before we go into the next verse with a lot more cohesion with the rap. Okay, so you already showed us, set us in stone, let it be known by those who pay attention. Then you could go da 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 da, and that follows with what the piano was doing. And then going by your own hand, the end. It was almost like you had something going with that. You could have gone, like just with that line, it would be a little bit difficult, but like, restricted by your own hand, there in the cold end, or something like that. I don't know. It just would have fit the structure a little bit better.
Smell of iron blood fills her lungs, stepping on them as they lay. A soldier boy hears her voice, leading him far from the fray.
I do like how she enunciates. The way she said "boy" really stood out to me. So that could have been a lot of EQing on the vocals, but also just with that pronunciation, that's really cool. I think if you're gonna sing, pronouncing things is very important. It's just like in rap, you don't have to have. You have to have a cohesive structure with your flow, but more importantly, even if that flow is all over the place, where at least, every first and second line or every first and third line should have some similarity, right? Or 1, 2, 3, and 4 all having a similar flow. If you do it purposefully in a different way, though, it has to have that consistency, regardless of how you want to do it. Because if it sounds like you are just saying it to fit the timing, then it doesn't sound like you've practiced it or really had it structured with how you want to do it. And I just say that as someone who failed to do that a lot when I started making music. So that was my only gripe with that.
Your humanity, oh, it's beautiful, dear. Oh, can't you hear all the stories untold? I'll make them clear.
Okay, so there was that. Those 2 lines had the exact same flow right there. I like that. Right.
Boy, here's her voice leading him.
Yeah, boy, here's her voice. That was a lot of enunciation on the oi, which was nice.
Far from the fray. Do you fear your humanity? Oh, it's beautiful, dear. Oh, can't you hear all the stories untold? I'll make them clear.
Yeah. Da 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 da. So I mean, she did a great job with that.
Are you the next new chapter for me? Written in ink, all of you think it's a piece of history. Repeating over again. You are all the same at the end. But so persistent. No more resistance.
See, I think especially with how in the background, in the end, it also fit with the guitar. I felt like that sounded fine. Saying "oh so persistent" relatively calmly right before the guitar comes in. Typically, in a lot of that stuff, one of the ways that your voice kind of lets the audience know, like, hey, we're going back into the guitar part, is punch it in a little bit. Oh, so persistent. In the end, you're at a distance. Something like, just throw in a little bit of oomph. I just think that would add to it a little bit. That's just my thought.
Tell me your story now. They rise and fall and crawl to the top again. And raise their swords but never will defend. Walking on the path of the condemned. The peasant king and queen lose heads in the end.
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say I really, really do like this mix of styles here. Very, very cool. I think the guitar definitely adds some oomph to it with this black and white scenery that we have here, this very gothic stuff. I think even the dancing and stuff, just it all feels very cohesive stylistically. I like it a lot. I just want to listen for something here.
Tell me your story now. They rise and fall and crawl to the top again. And raise their swords but never will defend. Walking on the path of the condemned. The peasant king and queen lose heads in the end.
I didn't like some of that. The flow just sounded a little weird. I felt like, especially the second line, if you added maybe another word, it would have flowed a little bit better. But it felt like we were kind of trying to stretch for time, and kind of say certain words faster in order to kind of fit. I don't think that's anybody's fault. I think that's just it just didn't really sit well with me on that. I think there could have been a way that could have been a little bit more cohesive. I think the idea is definitely creepy. Looking at a story where it doesn't end well for anybody because of, circumstances. The king and queen lose their heads in the end. I just thought that was very, very strange with how I feel like it could have just been tuned a little bit more. I don't know.
Monsters and men, oh, it's all the same and just nonsense. Repeating over again. You are all the same at the end. Oh, you're restricted. I know everything. I've got everything, and I know you're all bound by your chains. Even a conviction. I know everything.
The visuals are insane here.
Tell me your story now.
I'll just say this, because I felt like they amplified her voice on this last "Oh, you're restricted." It sounded louder, but not because she was punching it. It sounded like they just turned up the volume on that.
For again, you are all the same at the end. Oh, you're restricted.
Yeah, that sounded a lot louder, but it still had the same calmer tone on that. I think honestly, you could have asked Bibu, throw in a scream right here, just for the chorus. We can double it. We don't have to have anything crazy for the whole thing. You could just do one yell, and then we can copy and paste it for every chorus. I don't think that would have been bad. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, I already gave my thoughts. I think that is such a cool concept for her character as well. I just want to specify that for her to read all these stories, to give it this you all have this grim fairy tale life that I'm able to read, and I'm able to, ponder over and know everything about you. That's a creepy concept. Because based on her character tropes, it's kind of this thing of do you just imagine that everyone has this, this creepy side to things, or is that really the reality that you're able to kind of put people in because of your ability and all that? It's fascinating idea with the character and the writing and all that stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. I think one of the better, more tightly constructed videos and lyrical themes that I've seen. And all the little creatures as well are all very, very stylized. I really, really like that.
Tell me your story now. La 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 la. Don't let it be known by those who pay attention. Restricted by your own handy hand.
Nice way that ended. Very, very cool. I love that. Very, very nice. Yeah, I mean, really, I don't have much to say about it besides just I feel like some pieces of the pronunciation could have been done a little differently, but overall, the song was fantastic. Oh, and also she could have punched forward just a little bit with just a few lines. Um, but other than that, absolutely phenomenal. This was a great song. But you guys tell me your thoughts in the comments, including if you think I'm just full of crap and I don't know what I'm talking about. I could take it. I've been around the block. Anyway, though, that's all I have to say about that. If Shiori or anyone else in her group ends up seeing this, you guys did an awesome job. Kanaru, what haven't they done at this point? They have their hands in every pie, and you love to see it. Yeah, and I just learned more about Mooney recently. Just phenomenal people in this space. I'm glad that they're getting so much opportunity to work with big wigs in the industry. You love to see it. And that's all I got to say about that. See you guys next time.